I guess that the main songs on this album that I brought from the old days were songs that I'd written to like an imaginary human being, you know, especially, you know, I keep having these dreams. I really, really dig that song. I dig the words. It's very, but yeah, you know, songs like those, Dying Alone, Keep Having These Dreams, they're tunes that I don't think held any truth when I was younger and when I wrote them. They weren't written for anybody. I didn't feel these things for anyone, especially I Keep Having These Dreams. And so, you know, when she came into my life and I had this song, it kind of clicked. It's like, okay, well, that's the reason why you wrote that. The reason why you wrote that at 15 years old is because 12 years later, you're going to meet a human being that's going to mean something to. It just happened like that. And Dying Alone, that song came from. She went to school under my father, not physically, but she was her professor, and we met one time at my folks' house, and I had a course that I had just gone through surgery and this stuff, and I met her. I went back to the apartment where I was living at, and I started writing. It was odd because I was with somebody else at the time, and so to be sitting on my front porch writing this tune about somebody else, it felt really, really strange. But I had such a draw to her from that very first moment. I know it sounds cliched and Shakespearean and bullshit, but it really did happen that way. And I felt like a creep. I remember finishing the song and thinking, that's really weird. You shouldn't write a song like that. Like, I don't want to die without you, basically, for a stranger. But fucking hey, man, we got married, and I'm not a creep anymore. I think we have an amazing friend, and he was with his girlfriend for like 5 years, and she called herself just a tour widow. You know, the guy was out on tour so much that what was the point of the relationship? You know, and you know they split up, and you know it's rough time. I mean, fucking 5 years. That's not a short amount of time you're giving your soul to another person. But yeah, for right now, it's very. I guess we have very good understanding the fact that we're not just going to follow my dreams I mean, she has her own aspirations. She's a very smart individual. She has her own things that she wants to accomplish. So basically, what I want to utilize the music and be able to get the time off and take the time off that she can start doing what she needs to. And we'll, you know, but yeah, for right now, it's imperative that we are together. And I don't. Yeah, it's imperative. Yeah.
The winter seemed now much colder, almost like they did back then. Did my family receive all of my letters, and do they read them every now and then? And it's coming all down the sides, and hell, I think I could take some more time.
Yeah, I guess the song, I mean, what you were saying earlier, I mean, the songs are very personal. I think songs for me aren't really about just like entertainment. You know, I'm not going to write songs that somebody can just dance to. I might be foolish enough to take music a bit more seriously than that. And music, what it's meant to me in my life is, you know, it's been a very, very hopeful thing to me. And it's been something that that I can listen to people and I won't feel so alone, you know. And I think the musicians that have done that for me are very, very honest people, and so that's for me that's the best way to go. And clearly, people have. There's always going to be a mix of stuff. Like even on the new album, there's songs. Keep Having These Dreams. I probably wrote that when I was 19 or something. There's some other songs on the record that are quite old. On the opera circuit, there's some other songs that are pretty damn old. They didn't come from that exact time. And so no, I think by the time I recorded the Gospel Progress record, I had a lot more than just a couple of dozen songs. By that point, I'd been recording songs for 8 years. Not sending out demos or talking to labels or any of that shit, but I had a 4-track, and then I moved up to having a computer, and by the time I had the Gospel Progress record, I probably had 500 songs maybe or something. I mean, a shit load of songs. And so the Gospel of Progress was, we went back through all of those tunes and decided what the best ones were, and that's what made up the gospel. So the gospel, it didn't come out of a certain time in my life. It wasn't like there was this fall and then the rise and then these songs came. It was nothing like that, you know. And even like getting signed to a record label, from the time I lived in the hotel and I, was writing songs and, my life had fallen apart and I was bankrupt and all this shit, to the time that I actually got signed to a record label, years, like at least 3 or 4 years passed between those points. And so the music for me wasn't like a savior. It didn't like pull me out of the dark spaces. Me and fucking God and, some forces that had to be reckoned with, some things had to be faced before I think I would be given the blessing to make music,
And it is said that you cannot be found under rocks. Thank you very much. Under rocks, a broken skull, and I will lay down, and I will lay down, and I can be found beneath the road, beneath the road. And it's safe to say that I'll never be found broken bones holding loose, and you will be crowned, and you will be crowned queen of all you have found. You have found.
I would say I write pop music to a certain degree. I think there's some songs that I write that are very poppy. Jack Eyed, fucking We Went Up to Be Lonesome. That's just pop from a different era. Pop from an era that actually meant something, And I think that the thing with pop music now, with like the Beyoncés and the, I guess Britney Spears, nobody gives a shit about her anymore. But a lot of those people, they don't do anything. All they are is like an ugly face that's put on the front of the song that somebody else has written. And then you look at people like that, and then you look at people like Patsy Cline, and yeah, she didn't write her own songs, but she fucking meant it, man. And you can hear that she meant it. And I think that's beautiful, that you can take somebody else's tune and make it sound so goddamn believable. It makes me ill listening to some of that stuff because it's so fucking good. And I think that's something that the modern pop music has lost a little bit. We're not talking about things that matter. We're not talking about like gaining or unrequited love, all this kind of stuff. We're talking about, finger banging and getting with chicks, and I'm gonna do you in the club and you're greasy and all this crap. And I think that's really, I think it's sad. And I don't listen to that shit. But I think it's very disgraceful, and I think music is much more holy than that.
There's no worries now. There's no one else around to hear you cry yourself asleep again tonight. Oh, home.